Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And Jacob
And
Weil, 2.
and we're about to have ourselves a little California adventure. Ironically, we're going to every theme park in the LA area except for California Adventure and Universal Studios. All right, so Dragon, why don't you take the lead on this, my friend? Why don't you introduce us to the concept at play here?
Yeah, a little California gold. Okay, no, in all seriousness. Well, folks, good news. We're getting the band together. Well, not that it was ever not together before. Point being, folks, Tiki and Jacob, they're going to meet up as they go to Sweet California.
Well, I'm already in California. So
Well, I
this
mean,
is,
you're on a pilgrimage to meet a friend and kind of go theme park hopping. All right.
right.
Point being, these these two knuckleheads are gonna get together and they're finally gonna kind of meet face to face and go on some rides and explore things. You maybe learn something about each other along the way. Who knows? I'm an optimist. No idea. So what's gonna happen here is Tiki. Essentially, is Tiki has a mission. Isn't that right, Tiki?
Oh God, yes.
Tiki, what is your mission? Should you choose to accept it? And little read between the lines here. You've already accepted it because if you bow out now, there's gonna be legal ramifications. So what's your mission?
What if I was just like, "Hey, Jacob, I'm not gonna go. You're in this alone, buddy."
Well, I already have everything planned out and paid for, so I could just go without you anyway.
What kind of dope
Fair
would
enough.
say that to another person? I don't know.
I already have everything. I already have everything paid for. I'm not gonna back out now.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, this is very much like, folks. It is actually like I think that I would make a damn good travel agent. It is actually one of my dream career paths in life, and that's kind of what I'm trying out with this trip. Basically, what I am doing is I am kind of letting Jacob has graciously allowed me to let him, to basically be my guinea pig for my travel agents, endeavors. So basically, what I'm going to do, since this is his first time in California, I'm going to show him the ropes. We're essentially we're hitting up three major parks. We're hitting up Disneyland. We're hitting up Knott's Berry Farm. We're hitting up Magic Mountain. Knott's Berry Farm is going to be where a lot of the action is. That's where a lot of the we're spending 3 days there and a not scary farm night there. So that's going to be where a lot of it is going to take place. But I am very much revving up to just show Jacob the best time possible. These are parks that I've been going to, like Disneyland. Obviously, I've been going to since I was like 11 years old. Knott's Berry Farm, I've been going to annually since 2016. So these are parks I have a lot of familiarity with, and Jacob is kind of going in as blind as possible. So there's a little bit of an anticipation of, for me, the most anticipated part of the trip. I mean, granted, I do get a Disneyland day on Sunday, which is nice. Just me, Disneyland, myself, not worrying about other people's plans or anything, just doing exactly what I want to do. So that'll be cool for me. But regardless, my most anticipated thing about this trip is just simply seeing Jacob's reaction to everything. I love that kind of stuff. I love being able to to see people's reaction to stuff, to be able to, since I know the best ways around these parks and the best strategy, like what times to hit what attractions and so on and so forth, to see if the fruits of my labor of the planning will pay off. So that's where my head's at with this. Jacob, where's your head at?
You know me. I've never been west of Indianapolis, so this is all basically uncharted territory, the final frontier kind of stuff for me.
Jacob goes west.
Yes, pretty much. I've been to Disney World, but that was like all by myself, and that was like a lot of fun. So it should be interesting to like see these various different parks and having been to the two parks in my own state, Cedar Point and Kings Island. It'll be interesting to see how these stack up.
Oh yeah, especially Magic Mountain compared to Cedar Point. We'll get there.
Well, I mean, I'll be completely honest. I haven't been to Cedar Point in well over a decade, so it's probably changed quite a bit since I've been there. So,
All right, fair enough.
and obviously I've never been. I mean, so it'll be interesting to at least compare it to Knott's. I mean, especially since it's a fellow Cedar Fair park.
Yeah. So that's the thing, folks. So basically, Tiki's hope. Basically, we kind of have two hopes and dreams linked together here. Tiki's kind of travelogue dreams mixed in with Jacob's kind of his big kind of theme park visit dreams, as it were. The big like, oh boy, I get to go to Disney, the land, man, the Disney that earned the title land. Give me land, give me land, give me the mouse while you're at it. That sort of thing. As well as kind of your a double dose of Knott's Berry and Magic Mountain, as it were.
Pretty much.
So it's
Like,
very exciting.
So, like I said, seeing Nods will be interesting to compare the two Cedar Fair parks in my state. So
Certainly. Of course, I will not be there. Don't shed a tear for me, folks, because I'll be on the sidelines. And on the sidelines, I have the sidelines basically as Tiki. Of course, he's kind of a battered Disney veteran, as it were. He's kind of a one-armed Disney veteran, one could say. He's got a cool. Don't shed a tear for him either. He's got a cool metal arm, but you just don't see it that much. Point being,
oh God,
he's the Disney Winter Soldier.
Exactly. Just imagine,
I actually really like that analogy. Thank you.
like imagine if. So imagine if Bucky had mouse ears on, or like a goofy hat or something, pretty much. Like imagine if Bucky was at the end of Aladdin.
That's what the Falcon and Winter Soldier should be, just their trips to Disneyland.
Okay, anyway, flights of fantasy aside.
Does that make me the Falcon?
Yeah, sure, whatever makes you feel better.
Just kidding.
Anywho. Okay, no, in all seriousness, folks, basically I've, much like I did with Tiki's kind of his big battle plan for going to Florida, if I remember correctly, right? When you went to Disney World?
Yes, correct.
Basically, Tiki had like a whole battle plan. This is kind of a little bit more lax, but still.
This is a lot less intense than that was. All right, that one I basically had to cut fucking sleep out of my schedule. I was planning on getting an average of 4 to 5 hours of sleep a night on that trip. Not exaggerating.
Basically, imagine if Tiki stormed the metaphorical Disney beaches of Normandy with his excursion into Disney World. This is going to be more like that without the boats.
And Tiki, you pretty much told me that I'll have to manage my sleeping schedule to basically a couple hours a night as well while I'm here.
No. I mean, not necessarily.
At least on the date of Magic Mountain, which is after
Magic Mountain, definitely Magic Mountain.
Which is, to be fair, the day after I arrive from a 9-hour trip.
Right. So.
Heck, after my 9-hour trip, I'm pretty much going immediately to Knott's.
Right.
Okay, guys. So just to keep it simple, here's how my little grading criteria is going to go. So basically, these guys are going to report. They're going to. So, folks, this is why you're watching the pre-trip report, essentially, here to figure out what's supposed to happen. We're going to check in with these knuckleheads once they get back from their little week or so of fun. A little under a week of fun. And we're going to see if Tiki was too big to fail or just the right size to fail.
Why is failure?
I fail every time. Dragon, you're really undercutting me in this whole podcast.
Tiki, too big to fail, as in you cannot fail versus.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm sorry.
It's just that you're bringing failure into it. Like you're always reminding him of constant.
Well,
failure.
If I say nothing can possibly go wrong, and I say that in air quotes, then something's going to go wrong.
Oh God. All right.
The boats might sink. Or they might not be there, which is even worse.
Not the boats!
The little motorboats.
We can't have the little motorboats sink. That's a good point, Dragon.
Okay, in all seriousness, those points, folks, it's kind of a 30-point system. Basically, the 6 categories, 5 out of 5 points each. Basically, here, let me walk you through the categories, and we'll check back in with them when they return here. So, first category is going to be travel/check-in. It's going to be mostly check-in. Travel's a little bit more downplayed this time around. Basically, it's like the overall how and all of this, by the way, divined by Jacob's experience with all of this, by the way, because we already know how Tiki fared with this stuff. Tiki's the non-entity here. I mean, Tiki's like, yeah, so Tiki, how'd you do overall? How'd you feel about the trip? It was pretty good. And we'll see how whoever cares about that. What we're gonna focus on is what Jacob no, screw that noise. We've heard that enough from Tiki. Hey, Tiki, how'd you like Disney? Well, it was about the same. Good for you. Okay.
Pretty much.
So what we want to hear about is Jacob's experience here, and again, if Tiki succeed in giving him like the best travel experience overall. So that's we got to factor in with all of these categories here. First off is mainly kind of the travel check-ins. Like how did the arrangements, the accommodations, and getting there go specifically for Jacob?
Okay.
Like, did we have any National Lampoon shenanigans go on? Of like, well, we're staying in the cabins for $100 a night. One that stinks goes to Aunt Edna, but So there's that, and then we go to the overall layout. Layout is pretty much what we go through here. See how much of what we go through here. Basically, the highlights, the big kind of must-dos, if they remain true when we report in the next video, right? Basically, did you guys stick to the overall plan of all the big stuff that we're going to be going through here tonight?
Okay.
So that's travel, that's layout, and then we get to attraction achievement. This is we hit all the major ride goals that Jacob has, like all as we're going to go through here per the days.
Okay.
Then we go to dining, which is kind of a little bit of food and drink overall. Basically, did you hit like the major like food goals, drink goals? But I'm going to broaden it here. So it's kind of like overall, basically, what were the food experiences like? Any surprises along the way? Like, you stopped for a bite to eat. He's like, oh my God, this was so good. Like, we're going to find that sort of stuff. Like, or did Jacob get food poisoning? That sort of stuff. That's just kind of what we're looking for in dining.
Basically, dining is going to come down to is In-N-Out overhyped or not.
Again, like anything you guys discover along the way as well. So,
well, I mean, well, of course, I'll pretty much try like anything from these parks and anything from the parks, and obviously try stuff not as famous like roasted chicken and pie.
It's fried chicken, Jacob, not roasted chicken. How dare you say that not roasts their chicken?
Roast chicken, fried chicken, it's all the same to me.
No, it's not. There's a big difference.
I like fried chicken better anyway.
Essentially, imagine comedians in cars getting coffee, only take out the cars and, well, maybe some coffee.
I mean, roller coasters getting food.
There you go.
Right.
Kind of like the Flintstones, only it's going to fly everywhere once
Podcasters on roller coasters getting food.
You have Kevin Smith on as a guest, and like, so Kevin, this wasn't a mistake. Okay, no, in all seriousness, so we have dining. Then we go to exploration. Exploration is kind of the best one of them all here. Exploration is, the discoveries that you made along the way. Like, what did you learn? Any secrets, any surprises? Like, overall, the experience. Like, what did you learn from your trip, essentially? That's kind of what exploration's about, like, from each part. Like, what did you learn? And then we get to adaptability being the final one here. Adaptability being like in the face of a plan going out the window. Basically, in the face of Loki gets the Tesseract, what do we do? Like, how did you guys adapt in an alteration to the plan? When the heist inevitably goes south, in this case, when the trip inevitably goes south in some way, shape, or form. How big, that depends on Tiki. But,
Thanks. I have total control over the Southern California traffic, Dragon.
Well, don't act like you don't.
I have the phone number of the guy that Tarantino uses to shut down the LA freeways.
Yeah.
So a guy who knows a guy.
Who knows a guy and knows that guy's cousin. Anyway, so
basically a couple degrees of separation from Quentin Tarantino.
Precisely.
I wish. I have a couple degrees of separation from Mohinder Suresh. That's about the coolest 6 degrees of separation.
Well, ask him about season 6 of The Flash, why don't you?
Do you think I'm ever gonna meet that guy in my life? Like I said, Dragon, he is a fucking ex-boyfriend of one of my mom's ex-boyfriend. No, I'm sorry. He is an ex-boyfriend of my mom's ex-boyfriend's ex-girlfriend. So it's complicated. I'm never going to see the guy in my life. I've never even met the woman that he's cousins with. Anyways,
Well, you could always mail him a letter or something. Like, so
Oh,
tell me, so
God.
what? So what? Hey, Bo, hey, forgive me, actor in place, Mohinder, Doctor Suresh. Tell me, so what's the deal with the spider thing anyway? Why was it a spider of all the things he
I
kind
have
of mutate?
no idea what you're talking about right now.
Didn't he get like, didn't he get like a spider powder on Heroes? Didn't he? It was like a whole thing.
I dropped out after like midway through season 3.
Anyway, okay, the point being, season 3 Heroes Craziness aside, getting back on points. You follow me on the categories here, so they're lightning through them. Again, we have the travel check-in, we got the layout, we got the attraction achievement, we got the dining, we got the exploration, and we got the adaptability. Each one's out of 5,
Okay.
and at the end, perfect world, get 30 out of 30. Realistic world.
I know for a fact you're not going to let that happen.
Look, hey, believe me, I'd love to say, you know what, guys, you've earned a 30 out of 30. Jacob, how do you feel? I'm going to Disneyland. You just came back from Disneyland. Okay, I'm stumped then. Where am I going?
He gets the thumbs up from Dragon.
God.
Okay, anyway. So that's pretty much what we're working with in terms of the grading scale. So let's lay out the game plan as it were. Let's go over the layout as it were. Again, the abridged version of the layout, the good stuff from the layout as it were.
All right. Well, I'm going to Disneyland on Sunday, but that has no application to this thing. But I
No
am
one
very
cares.
excited about that. I am excited about it, though.
Unless there's a special guest from a certain YouTube channel there, it's a non-issue.
There might be. There's like a less than 0% chance of that happening on that day.
My kind of chance. Okay.
All right, so we'll start on Monday. So Monday is going to be basically Jacob kind of like dipping his toes in the Knott's Berry Farm waters. So Jacob, you fly in, you're landing about what, like 1 p.m., correct?
Around that time, but barring schedule changes.
Of course. So I'm going to say, given schedule changes, given the time it takes to, uh depart your plane on board, what is the word I'm looking for there?
I'm pretty much on board.
Departure time?
Deboarding, the deboarding process, I guess, is what.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm
Basically get my luggage from the flight
uh,
and then Uber to the hotel.
Or, in
Yeah.
other words, the let me out phase of the plane ride.
pretty much.
Especially, I mean, technically the way it works is I'll be basically departing from Columbus from Columbus at 6:15 my time.
Oh dear
Arriving,
God, that's gonna be. I just realized you're gonna be flying in like 3 a.m. my time, or
and then
you're gonna be boarding a plane at 3 a.m. my time.
yes, and then
That's crazy to think about.
I'll be arriving in San Francisco at about 8, to holding over for about 2 hours, then arriving at Orange County at about 1 o'clock.
All right, so I will be at Knott's this whole day. I'll be there like from 10 a.m. onwards, just kind of waiting for Jacob to get there. But Jacob, you're taking an Uber to your hotel just to check your luggage at your hotel. You won't be able to check in just yet, which is why you're going to Knott's. And then from your hotel, you're going to catch another very, very quick, like 2-minute Uber ride over to Knott's. I will meet you in the front gate. Jacob will basically like let me know when he's on his way from the hotel to Knott's, and I will go outside and meet him there. And we will meet up in person. And basically, like I said, with the dipping the toe in the water, this is mostly going to be a coaster day for Jacob at Knott's. We're not going to have a ton of time because I am going to have to actually leave Knott's around 5:30 to get to a concert that I have tickets for that night. And the park closes at 6 anyway. So Jacob, if you want to hang out like an extra half hour in the park, be my guest. But essentially, we're going to be getting on the coasters is going to be my main goal for this day. So Ghost Rider, Hang Time, Montezuma, Silver Bullet, all that good stuff. And the reason why we're going to be mostly focused on the coasters is because we're going to be going to Magic Mountain the next day. So I figured this would be a good kind of like warm up for the insanity of the Magic Mountain coasters. All All right, Jacob, you are kind of intentionally going in blind to Knott's, but I can tell you just to hype it up that Ghost Rider is among the best wooden roller coasters in the country. I think that is going to be the one you're going to be really satisfied with at Knott's. All the other coasters at Knott's are like Hang Time is really good. That's their dive coaster. Um, all the other ones are honestly just kind of okay. But but Ghost Rider and Hang Time are an excellent top two for the park. Oh, and Accelerator as well. Accelerator is basically just a mini Top Thrill dragster, and it's pretty awesome.
Should be fun.
So, Jacob, what are your expectations for this day? Of course, we've only got a few hours. It's going to depend on if the park's empty or not. I'm hoping the park's empty. I'm hoping we can just basically marathon Ghost Rider if we can.
I mean, I'm like I said, I've been going in blind, so just basically keep myself as surprised as possible with all these different kinds of rides and experiences I'm going to be seeing.
Mm-hmm.
So like, one thing I'll definitely be able to compare with like what was the wooden road, the Ghost Rider, the wooden one.
Ghost Rider, yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely be able to see if that compares to the Beast, like how that compares to the Beast from Kings Island, from where I live. Like, so like basically, because that's one of the only wooden roller coasters I've actually been on. So,
Mm-hmm.
so it should.
Of course, the Beast is a very, very, very long ride. Ghost Rider is also a long ride. It's just not like historically long.
Yeah, but yeah, the Beast can last like over like 4.5 minutes to 4.5 to 5 minutes.
Right. Ghost Rider is a solid 2.5 minutes, which is pretty long for a coaster.
Yeah, so definitely be interesting to see how that compares. Like wood roller coasters are like an entirely different kind of experience to steel ones. Like you feel more rickety and all that, so it kind of gives off a different sense of thrills when compared to other
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So that'll be like one of the main comparisons I'll be drawing to like stuff from my home state. But that's pretty much it.
I'm also going to be very curious to see how Accelerator stacks up to Top Thrill Dragster.
Yeah, well, I hit my head on the way down to Top Thrill Dragster when I went on it. So and I went there the first year, like pretty much the year it premiered. So
Uh,
that'll also be, but technically that's also, so basically I'll be comparing coasters from both Kings Island and Cedar Point.
yeah. Yeah. Okay, there might be one or two things that'll get you on as kind of like a predecessor to our Calico Day, but we'll get into the Calico Day a little later on. So then let's see. After that, Jacob, you're basically just going to have dinner around the area and, just go back to your hotel. By all means, please get to bed as early as you possibly can this night. Because Jacob has to wake up at about 6 o'clock in the morning, the next morning, to be at Monkey's Place by 7 o'clock so that we can make a beeline for Magic Mountain. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Magic Mountain, Jacob. All I can hype it up to you about is it is the Cedar Point of the West, and from what I've seen of Cedar Point, I honestly think in some ways, I will say there's like I think Magic Mountain has a lot of terrain that it takes advantage of really well. I don't want to spoil a lot of that for you, but I will say Tatsu is my favorite roller coaster I've ever been on. That's a flying coaster. I don't want to spoil too much of the layout for you, but I'm stoked to get on that again. That's going to be one of the first rides we're doing in the morning. I will say that Magic Mountain and Scary Farm are probably my most anticipated things on this trip. But I think I'm even more anticipated for Magic Mountain because it's been a long time since I've been here. The last time I went to Magic Mountain was in 2014. So it's been a solid 5 years, and they actually added Twisted Colossus since then, which is a world class, one of the best Rocky Mountain construction roller coasters in the world. And so I'm very, very stoked to get on that beast. I'm hoping that the park is going to be empty so we can just marathon whatever the hell we want. It's a weekday, and the park is like it's kind of out of the way. So, you don't really have those Orange County locals going to the park the same way you do like Disneyland and not. So and I've never been to the park on a weekday before. I've only been on weekends. So I'm really hoping that the crowd levels work in our favor this day. Now, Jacob, I know that I told you that by all means you could look up the coaster lineup here, but you said no. You're wanting to go in surprised. You're wanting to kind of like basically like what coasters do you know about, Jacob? I know you know about a few of them. Jacob,
I think he's stupefied.
okay. Jacob, you there? Okay.
Okay, well, in the interim, Tiki, tell me, we are on day 2, right? We're on Tuesday,
Yes,
right?
we're on day 2.
Good,
Yes,
good.
yes.
Make sure you keep announcing that, man. I'm also taking notes here too.
Okay, sorry. Jacob, are you there?
No,
Huh.
he is. He's a little technical, little spurt there, but okay. Let's see. So if I understand it, so Magic Mountain is going to be a big high point, right? Big expectation for you along this trip, correct?
Yeah, Jacob said his computer's acting weird, so we'll see if we can get him in. Yeah, for me, Magic Mountain is probably my most anticipated thing.
Are you or are you not doing Galaxy's Edge this trip?
Oh, I'm doing Galaxy's Edge. By all means, I'm doing
I just wanted to
Galaxy's
make sure. Okay,
Sorry about that.
No problem,
okay,
Jacob.
okay, we're back. Keep going.
I've got 2 different reservations for Galaxy's Edge in one day, Dragon, for the Cantina. So yeah, I'm very much doing Galaxy's Edge.
Just wanted to make sure. Okay, back to the
Sorry about
Magic
that if you
Mountain.
heard any obscenities while my browser for some reason crashed.
We didn't hear anything, but Jacob, what coasters at Magic Mountain do you actually know about? Because I know you've been trying to go in as blind as possible.
I mean, I've heard you. I mean, I remember the ones you asked me about. Like, we were talking about planning it out with Rob,
So basically, Twisted Colossus and X2.
and the one you mentioned earlier, Tatsu.
Tatsu, yeah. Do you even know how X2 works at all?
Isn't it like a hang coaster?
Tatsu is the hanging coaster.
Then no, I don't know how X2 works.
Okay, X2. Yeah, there's definitely a big twist on the X2 ride system.
Yeah, you get into the Wolverine backstory, the whole shebang.
All right. And then Twisted Colossus. Do you know anything about Twisted Colossus, Jacob? Other
I
than
don't.
that it's an RMC.
I don't really know anything.
Do you even know what an RMC is?
I can't say that I do, honestly.
Really?
Don't ride shame him, man. This is a safe space.
I'm sorry. Jacob, just to clarify, RMC stands for Rocky Mountain Construction, and they're the company that's been doing all the they're the company that did Steel Vengeance at Steel Point. It's Cedar Point.
Okay.
DMC's awesome cousin.
Yes. God. All right, so Dave, anything else you want to clarify about Magic Mountain, Dragon?
Oh, I'm all good. Let's keep going.
And
Okay.
I'll go on pretty much anything except those tower drop rides.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to face Lex Luthor's Drop of Doom alone. That's the one ride at Magic Mountain I've been too scared to go on, so I'm gonna face my fears with that. Dragon, Lex Luthor's Drop of Doom goes all the way up the Superman Tower, and it's like fucking 400 feet in the air.
Really? So that's for day 2 then. You're doing
Yes,
Lex Luthor's Drop of Doom.
Lex Luthor's Drop of Doom.
Wow.
I was actually in line for it the last time I was there, but it broke down. So I technically did conquer my fears of it, but I never did get to ride it.
I see. All right. What about food goals? Like, what do you guys do with it? What's the plan?
In and out, in and out, in and out.
I'm saying, is that like? I want to be clear. Is it in and out for all the days or just this day?
No, not just this day. Just this day on the ride back.
Okay, so I want to be clear. I want to make sure I don't miss the in and out of it all.
Yeah, on the ride back from Magic Mountain, we are stopping at In and Out because In and Out is a freaking hallmark of California, and Jacob has to have In and Out while he's here.
You know what's funny? Just because you're mentioning In and Out, you know, recently I did procure a copy of This Is the End, and I was watching that scene.
Coming in 5 minutes.
Yep, and I was thinking, yet again thinking of Katie Mary Garland's In and Out reference. Anyway. Okay.
And then just as for food goals at Knott's when Jacob gets here, the only thing I will I will the boysenberry stuff. I'm definitely going to introduce Jacob to as much boysenberry stuff as I can.
I've never
They have
actually,
boysenberry. They have boysenberry punch. They have boysenberry ice cream. They have boysenberry ices.
I've never actually had boysenberries.
Well, that's because you can really only get them at Knott's Berry Farm.
Oh, really?
I mean,
Just
not really. Knott's Berry. I shouldn't say that, but I'm just saying like Knott's Berry Farm is the only place that makes like all these like exclusive boysenberry items, like boysenberry ices and boysenberry ice cream and stuff like that. Like Knott's Berry Farm is like the premier boysenberry food place.
just remember, kids, boysenberries one letter away from utter disaster.
Technically two, considering boysen is spelled B-O-Y.
Oh,
Yeah,
darn it.
Boysen.
Ah, well,
Boysen.
never forget my dumb voice.
It sounds close though.
Curse you, spelling. Anyway.
All right, so Disneyland. Jacob, I'm going to let you take the lead on this.
Okay.
Now, I mean, we have a general game plan kind of mapped out. We're gonna rope drop Peter Pan just because Peter Pan is a really low capacity ride that gets a wait time really quickly, and Peter Pan's like an iconic opening day attraction. I'm curious to compare Jacob's thoughts on the Disney World version to the Disneyland version.
I didn't actually go on the Peter Pan ride.
You don't have to mention that, Jacob.
Well, I mean, I can't really make much of a comparison if I didn't go on it in the first place.
But you can pretend. I'm sorry.
Wow, man, you're you're advocating dishonesty. That's not good.
All right. Anyways, well, that's all the more reason for him to go on the Disneyland version, then. All right.
Okay. Point being, we're in support of the Peter Pan ride. I think that's the bigger takeaway.
Yes.
Okay, but basically, other than that, Jacob, the world is pretty much your oyster this day. Like it's all on you, man. Like God knows I've been to Disneyland more times than is healthy. So what are your expectations for Disneyland, Jacob? Because I know you've done research into this place. You have to have.
Well, I mean, I know enough about I know enough about the place. I mean, you probably know how to get to these places and know how to maximize your trip better than I do.
I will show you exactly how to get from point A to point B in exactly the most efficient way possible. I know exactly what attractions to hit at what time, although we're not going to stick to any rigid schedule or anything.
I can show you the land.
Pretty much.
Yeah, Tiki knows where the catacombs are in Disneyland. He knows where.
You're joking. You think you're joking, Dragon, but I know where some of the dark spots are at Disneyland.
I know you do.
I mean, barring stuff from like DCA, which obviously I won't be able to see.
Yeah, DCA, it's like we had to make a decision to cut DCA just because the only two things at DCA, in my humble opinion, that are really worth Jacob seeing, Dragon, I'm sorry, I don't think the Incredicoaster is necessarily one of them. Those two things are Cars Land and then Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. And so we kind of made the call that Disneyland really, if you want to really fully experience Disneyland, you got to have a full day there. And also, it's just not worth the price hike to a park hopper to experience two rides. So
yeah.
Wait, so no Guardians then?
No Guardians.
Oh.
Okay. Maybe next time.
It'll give him something to look forward to next time.
Yeah,
well, I guess he won't be hooked on a feeling after all.
Hooked on a feeling.
It's the sad version of it, anyway.
Yeah, but there's a lot. I mean, I can't say that I've done extremely extensive research, but I know a lot of the stuff that's going on there. Like, obviously, I want to see this version of the Haunted Mansion, the longer Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes, I'm very excited for you to get on that.
I mean, due to your recent Cue the podcast, I kind of want to see the Jungle Cruise.
Mm-hmm.
Little bit of plugging there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I want to see the Jungle Cruise now. I mean, I mean, of course, Galaxy's Edge, which you said you have reservations for, so that should definitely.
Yeah, we have Oga's Cantina reservations at 8:30 that night.
I mean, of course, like all the original opening attractions, as you mentioned before.
I do have one question.
Yes.
Are you guys gonna be building a lightsaber?
No.
Yeah, they cost like
It's
$200.
$200, man.
And
I'm
Yeah, but-
sorry.
Yeah, but still, you
That
could
would
build
literally be a fourth of my budget. All right, I have $600 for 7 days. Okay.
Yeah, but you could build a lightsaber, man.
It's a fourth of my budget. I have to eat.
Eating's an
My
illusion.
$200 is going to be spent getting drunk at Oga's Cantina. All
So
right.
you're picking beverage over can.
I actually, but I mean, I'm probably not as extensive as the one that was here, but I actually built my own plastic lightsaber when I went to Disney World and when I went to Hollywood Studios.
I haven't done that, but I see what I've seen what it's like because I have one here at Disneyland as well. And Jacob, that the thing they have at Galaxy's Edge is definitely a lot more elaborate than that.
I know, but I'm still not probably going to spend $200 on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I might give it a look see, but probably not. Probably not.
You can't give it a look see unless you have the $200 reservation.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, well then I'll just look it up on YouTube or something.
Yeah, well, yeah, you believe me, it's really cool looking.
And of course, like see all the various different areas. Like, of course, I want to try to see this version of space. All the three mountains, of course.
And Matterhorn as well as a fourth mountain.
Matterhorn, of course.
Which you can honestly, Jacob, you might have to ride that alone because that thing destroyed my back the last time I was there. I think it's worth riding. It's a historic piece of Disneyland and it's got some really cool theming. Don't get me wrong, but and then of course there's some stuff at Disneyland that is no longer at Disney World, like Mr. Toad, Snow White's Scary Adventure, that kind of stuff.
Little boats, they're gone too.
That's what I was saying when I was like including like the original attractions,
right?
Like Snow White, scary, like Snow White Scary Adventures and like Peter Pan, Mr. Toad. I'm gonna go on those.
Of course, I hope I'm not hyping it up too much for you, but I adore Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, and I'm excited for you to see that.
It should be interesting. I mean, to see like the first audio animatronics. I mean, I've seen plenty of videos of them breaking down, so that should be interesting to see them working.
Right.
Well, for some historical figures, it won't be as surprising as others.
I mean, and of course, it'll be interesting to like. I'll get to point out like all the cool scale tricks they do at the park, like because since the park is like way smaller than the Magic Kingdom, they kind of have to rely a lot more on forced perspective, which in a way makes the park even cooler because like the whole thing is kind of an optical illusion.
Yep, I mean that'll definitely be interesting. And probably another thing I'm interested in is Toontown.
Yes, Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin, and of course the legendary Chippendale's Treehouse, Jacob.
Of course, I can't wait to bow before its majesty.
God.
Behold the majesty that is going upstairs and then going downstairs.
So now in terms of drinking and dining, we are going to try and catch a monorail out of the park about 11 o'clock to get to 11 a.m. to get to Trader Sam's right when it opens at 11:30. We want to get there right when it opens because we want to ensure that we get a spot inside, or else it really won't even be worth it if we get there and we can't get a spot inside. And so that's definitely a goal. And that's also a thing that's like not 100% going to happen. There are things that could go wrong with that.
And as I mentioned before, it's a contingency I wouldn't mind cutting out.
Sure. And then also the 8:30 Oga's Cantina reservation in Galaxy's Edge, so Jacob can experience the funky fresh stylings of DJ Rex.
Picking a beverage over a lightsaber.
Yes, Dragon, I am a foodie, all right? Not a merchandise guy. I have never been a merch guy. You're the merch guy. I'm the food guy, all right?
I mean, of course.
Right?
I mean, you live near those. You live near that place. I'm at least gonna try and get like one piece of merchandise from every park I go to.
Sure.
I mean, you live near these places. I don't.
Yeah.
So
Um,
I'm probably not gonna go to every shop in Disneyland, but I'm at least gonna try and get a souvenir from Disneyland.
hmm.
All right.
I mean, there's
In terms of the food, Jacob, there's several options at Disneyland for us to eat. Believe me, it'll just kind of come down to like what you're in the mood for. We could get some skewers at the Bengal Barbecue. The Plaza Inn is a classic. That was one of Walt's favorite restaurants, and I have never had a bad meal there. Let's see. There's
What's that restaurant's name? Walt's restaurant?
the Plaza Inn.
Plaza Inn, gotcha.
I might have to
Yeah,
give that a look. So I might have to give that a look. See,
I think we should do Plaza Inn for lunch. I think that should be our plan because it's vintage Disneyland and the food is pretty damn good. And then for dinner, I'm thinking maybe we can do Bengal barbecue.
okay.
As long as you don't mind like exotic meats.
I mean, I'll have to give it a shot.
The meat isn't exotic; it's chicken and beef, but the sauces are to die for, though.
So in other words, Bengals has the meats.
Why
Yeah.
can't we eat some meats?
Okay.
How can you have your pudding if you haven't finished your meat?
I was more referencing the Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, when the orc is like wanting to eat Merry and Pippin. He's like, "Why can't we have some meats?"
You have your pudding when you have finished your meat.
And I was referencing Pink Floyd.
All right,
Anyway.
so I think that's about it for Disneyland.
I mean, I think I pretty much mentioned everything. Of course, I think you and I should take a picture in front of the partner statue.
Sure. We're gonna try and catch the electrical parade on the way out. If we get everything done, because the electrical parade is at 10:45 and the park closes at 11.
Okay.
Of course, that last 15 minutes is also a great opportunity to get on one or two last rides because the lines are pretty much non-existent. So we'll have to kind of weigh out our options there. Yeah, that's about it.
All right, day 4 then, right?
Okay, day 4. I can't really say too much about this day because it is all kind of like a big mystery to Jacob. But essentially, what I'm going to do is Jacob's going to get the full Knott's Berry Farm treatment. So we're going to try all the boysenberry stuff. We're going to go on the classic rides. We're most importantly going to explore Ghost Town to its fullest. Like, I want to explore the nooks and crannies of Ghost Town with Jacob. And I want to get Jacob hyped up and ready for Origins, The Curse of Calico at Not Scary Farm the next night, because that is a maze that is all about the dark side of the Knott's Berry Farm ghost town. So what, Monkey? Yes, Jacob is coming, Monkey. Yes, you didn't know that? You really didn't know that?
This is oh god.
He must know that. No, there's no way he doesn't know that because we arranged he's fucking with us because we arranged the travel situation with Magic Mountain and everything. Why is screwing with us, Monkey? Anyways.
I think someone started drinking a little early.
Well, actually, I am going to go out and drink right after we finish recording. Believe it or not, I'm going to do a little bit of pre-gaming.
All of this could be going towards a lightsaber, but fair enough. To each his own.
The only reason I'm doing it is because tonight is Friday the 13th, end of full moon, and so one of the wine bars in my area is doing like a happy hour for that occasion, and there's also going to be karaoke. So I'm like, ooh, cheap wine and karaoke on a full moon on Friday the 13th.
Yeah, Monkey's definitely messing with us. There's a magic mountain somewhere.
God.
He's definitely
Yes, it's in the kingdom of Valencia from Gallivant.
that means he's definitely messing with us.
Yes, he is.
I mean, it's Monkey. Are we really surprised?
So where does that Joker fit into things anyway? When does Monkey come into play again? So remind me.
Okay, Monkey is mostly going to just come into play on Wednesday.
At Disneyland.
Yeah, to Disneyland, and even then only for a few hours. But I am staying at Monkey's house, so I'll be seeing a lot of Monkey. Tomorrow when I fly in, Monkey and I are going to have kind of like a movie marathon day. We're going to watch Cool Cat Saves the Kids, which I am stoked to introduce Monkey to. It's a glorious bad movie.
Oh gosh.
I'm also hoping to watch Serenity with Monkey as well.
Oh God.
I haven't seen Serenity yet.
Well, it's on Amazon, but I wouldn't buy
How
it.
many years, Jack?
And
Just-
technically, I've only seen like reviews and stuff of Cool Cat Saves the Kids, but I think that's enough.
You haven't seen Cool Cat until you've sat down and watched the actual movie.
Just watch King of Comedy, Jacob. Just do yourself a favor.
Oh God! You sound so desperate, Dragon. You're just like, no, don't watch Cool Cat.
More so for Serenity, like Jacob. Don't.
Anyways.
Anywho.
And now Monkey
Really?
says,
No,
"Wait,
Serenity.
Disney made an amusement."
Serenity is a better endeavor than Cool Cat.
Have you seen Cool Cat before?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, of course I've seen Cool Cat.
I'm just wondering if I'm going to expect it on memoirs or not. So I just want to make sure because I thought you have.
No,
before,
don't expect it on memoirs. No, but
That's all because it seemed familiar when you brought it up. It's like, yeah, he's seen Cool Cat's head.
I do have a surprise movie that I'm going to be watching on the flight that I'll be adding to memoirs, but I'm going to surprise you with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
All right. Okay, so yeah, basically with Knott's Berry Farm, I'm going to try and give Jacob as vintage of a Knott's Berry Farm experience as possible. We're going to be hitting up all the classic attractions. We're going to be hitting up all the shows that we can. We're going to be hitting up, like the Calico Saloon. We're going to be trying to basically get as much backstory for Knott's Scary Farm as we can. Because the awesome thing about Knott's Scary Farm this year that I just fucking love is the fact that basically the whole park is going to be one interconnected story with Ghost Town in the center of it. And Origins, The Curse of Calico is like the flagship thing kind of connecting everything. And I am stoked for that. I think it's honestly like a way cooler sounding event than Halloween Horror Nights at this point. Not to diss on Halloween Horror Nights. I would very much like to go to Halloween Horror Nights at some point, but
Maybe we can do that on our next visit.
very possible, because of course you aren't going to be getting Universal Hollywood. That's like one of two Southern California theme parks you aren't getting, not including the stuff in San Diego, but I digress. So Jacob, any major expectations for this day at Knott's? The full classic Knott's Berry Farm experience.
You mean the day before Scary Farm?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I mean, based on what you've told me, I can't really say what I'm expecting and not expecting. I mean, you're showing me the mazes and like detailing me on the backstory of like some of the lore of what's going on here. So it should be
So
interesting.
Jacob, sorry, go ahead.
It should be interesting, see what these like mazes and other stuff entail.
Well, keep in mind, this day we're not going to the mazes. The mazes are going to be on Friday.
This is the training so you don't get lost in the mazes.
Pretty much.
Because if you do, he's not coming back for you.
One of the mazes, they actually separate you. So Jacob and I will be separated through one of the mazes, which I honestly think is pretty intimidating.
One of the things I'm most looking forward to is like the infection thing for Not Scary Farm.
Well, that's the maze I'm talking about, is infected.
Oh, you mean like where it's like the kind of like the zombie thing?
Yeah. They split you off into different groups and they break the parties up. And I honestly just find psychologically, I find that element of like, losing your basically your security. That like, I don't know. There's something disconcerting about that.
So it's like almost gonna be scary on a psychological level.
We go both hear the other one just to play mind games. We both hear the other one being turned to a zombie. Like, oh god, why?
All right, but
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Jake. Yeah, we are. Jacob. I apologize if this is a little too inside baseball, but did you ever decide about Little Shop?
I mean, I haven't gotten the ticket yet, but I'm probably gonna go get it soon.
You'll probably want to get the ticket soon. Yeah, doing a show. Sorry, Go ahead. So yeah, that night, little Jacob and Monkey and I, assuming that the tickets aren't sold out already, Jacob, that's why you need to get the tickets.
Well, I mean, I was waiting till I got paid, and I had 2 bills hit yesterday.
Okay, fair enough. I'm just saying, if you want to go with us,
So there may or may not be a show that night.
Yes, I mean there's definitely going to be a show for me, but we're going to go into Pasadena to see the Little Shop of Horrors at the Pasadena Playhouse. And assuming that the tickets aren't sold out already, I don't mean to pressure you, Jacob, but God, Monkey's like, I hate theater. All right, Monkey.
Well, it's like, too bad man, maybe you shouldn't become a thespian then.
Anyway, okay, so is that about do it for Thursday?
Right, it's a good thing you didn't become a theater actor, right?
Yeah, any other questions about Thursday on your end, Dragon?
I mean, you kind of covered the boysenberry, but also I think we're all good.
Okay. All right, Friday. We're going to go to Knott's Berry Farm in the day. This will probably be the most crowded day at Knott's Berry Farm just because it's a Friday. Essentially, what we're going to do is just do kind of like a best of Knott's Berry Farm. We're not going to be too worried about, the Calico mythology or anything like that on this day. We're mostly going to be just like, hey, let's ride some rides. Let's do some coasters. Let's see a show or two. It'll be a nice casual day. Jacob, I honestly think it'd be a good idea if we went back to the hotel a little early this day just to rest, considering that we're going to be up until like past 2 a.m. that night. So we might want to go back to the hotel at like 3 o'clock for maybe a couple hours. I don't know, just throwing that out there. Okay. But then at 5 o'clock, Jacob and I are going to have a buffet dinner. Get it?
Buffet.
And that's where we are going to get to feast on the famous Mrs. Knott's chicken dinner restaurant items like the biscuits and the chicken, the mashed potatoes and the pie, and it's just delicious all around. And free refills of boysenberry punch. You can't beat that.
Get to stuff our face.
Absolutely, and I can't wait.
A glorious feast.
Not to mention, there's monster scare actors in the buffet that like go around and fuck with you as you're trying to eat, which I think is great. I've done it before. I am hoping that we'll get a couple rides on Ghost Rider, because they did have extra ride time on Ghost Rider when I went with Ezra for those people who did the buffet. I'm really crossing my fingers that we get to do it. I'm hoping that's the case. But regardless, we're going to go into the Scary Farm. We get early entry at 6:30 for the 7 o'clock. For the 7 o'clock. I'm not explaining this well. Not Scary Farm opens to the general public at 7 o'clock. We're going to get to go into the back area and do a couple mazes before 7 o'clock just to crack them out. That was honestly our main reason to do the buffet, was just to get that early entry so we have a little bit of a leg up on the crowds. And then Scary Farm, which is definitely, besides Magic Mountain, the most anticipated thing on the entire itinerary. I'm pretty stoked for this. Now, some of the mazes I've done before. I've done Dark Ride, I've done Pumpkin Eater, I've done Paranormal Inc. before, but a lot of it's going to be new. There's 2 mazes that were there when I was there in 2017, Special Ops being one of them, the Infected Maze. But I did not actually get to go into that maze because the line was too long, so we're definitely going to hit that one up early to remedy that.
Oh yeah, that sounds like the one I'm most excited for, almost like the special ops infected one.
I'm most excited for Calico.
I mean that too.
I'm stoked for Origins Curse of Calico.
But as far as like attractions and stuff like that go, I mean that sounds like the most like interesting thing, like the whole zombie infested zombie kind of thing.
Uh-huh. And of
I mean,
course you get a gun in that one too, so it's kind of like laser tag as well.
and it's happening on the same day as Area 51, apparently.
Yes. Which I haven't really been following that, so.
Me neither.
All right, and importantly, we're going to be seeing Puppet Up. Now, I am probably one of the people on the internet who's most excited about Puppet Up. When I heard about Puppet Up, I kind of did a fist pump because I love the vibe of Puppet Up. I love the idea of doing an improv puppet show. I think Scary Farm is the perfect venue for it because Scary Farm is not afraid to get obscene with its humor by any stretch. So you know things are going to get raunchy in this show. Yeah.
Can't wait.
And of course, there's also a chance that Tom Ruger might be there.
Ooh.
Not. Well, are you sure? Do you mean Tom or do you mean Paul Rugg?
Paul Rugg, I'm sorry.
Well, Tom Rug's the other guy. I mean, you're kind of in the right ballpark, but that's what I'm asking.
Paul
Right.
Rugg would be pretty neat too.
So it's supposed to be Paul Rugg. I mean, Tom Rugg would be news to me, but that's what I'm saying.
I'm sorry. I got my Freakazoid guys mixed up. Yeah, it's gonna
I'd be excited for him too. I just want to make sure. So Paul Rugg, or the Freakazoid himself might be there in the form of Paul Rugg.
Steven?
Which of us is your favorite?
That's just what. Nope, don't be wacko.
But I'm wacko.
We're also going to hit up the magic show in the Birdcage Theater, just because I think the Birdcage Theater is a perfect place for a magic show. And the crowd should be pretty light because apparently opening weekends, only the real diehards go on opening weekend. Like most people wait until October to go. So I am hoping that'll be the case. I want to really get to appreciate these mazes and the atmosphere and the scare zones and everything. I am stoked for this.
I'm hoping to be plenty spooked.
Oh yeah.
I was picked by a magician once.
Were you?
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so that's it.
I'm hoping to be plenty spooked.
All right, so that goes on until 2 a.m. So that's definitely going to be the longest night of the entire trip by a pretty considerable margin. We're going to be dead by the end of that night.
It'll be awfully fitting with Not Scary being half dead.
Yeah, it's like appropriately considering.
Yep.
And then we fly back the next day, and that's all she wrote.
All right, so day 6 is the flight back.
Yeah.
Yep, we pretty much have to check. I pretty much have to check out by 11, I think, or because my flight takes off. Because I think my flight takes off at 1.
But don't you want to catch a ride with me to the airport though?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
So I'm saying I'm probably gonna be leaving probably around the 9 o'clock range.
I mean, you can check out any day, any time of that, just as long as you're out by that time.
I'm just throwing it out there. Anyways.
I mean, it only makes sense.
Yeah.
You guys gonna grab breakfast that day or something, or just like?
We might
just eat at the airport.
Yeah, we'll probably eat at the airport if anything. Yeah.
To maximize time, make sure we don't miss anything and all that.
Yeah.
All right. So if I understand it, Friday.
Yeah. And now Monkey's newest message: you can travel through the air.
Thank you so much for reading that, Jacob. We really needed to know that one. But no, I'm sorry. That's a little too facetious. I apologize. But no, seriousness though. So if I understand this correctly, so Friday, basically you're going big on Friday. Everything builds up to a point where basically Not Scary is kind of the big, like going out with a bang of the whole trip. Am I correct?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Then we got puppets. We got a magic show. We have a potential Freakazoid crossover. We got spooky stuff. We have the perfect way to get ready for Halloween.
We got zombies.
Some freaking zombies, man. Mazes.
an interconnected story throughout the entire park, which is kind of an Imagineering dream of mine.
A buffet with a pun and interactivity?
And pie.
Of course!
Oh, God.
Simply genius! Pie!
All right.
Boysenberry pie!
Indeed.
And chicken.
All right, guys. I got to get to my happy hour.
I gotta get to the back of my eyelids.
Well, Tiki's gonna get there faster.
Wrap this up.
All right, folks. So I think we're all very excited to see if the boys can get into wacky shenanigans or see how unscathed they come out of things here. Hopefully, things will go great. Things could go quite spectacularly spooky. One could say they're going to go that way one way or another. Hopefully, more in the positive sense of the word. We'll see.
Hopefully, things don't go spooky before this farm.
Hopefully, yes, absolutely. So. We'll see, and well, basically, if I understand correctly, I believe I don't want to pinpoint a day just off the top of my head here, but let's just say upon your return, we're going to be doing this, right?
Yeah, I would probably not to pinpoint it. I'd probably say either the next weekend or early the week after that.
The point being, folks, almost as soon as they could. Yeah.
And we can hear your points to how you award the points.
Yes, exactly. Of course, the reminder will be out of 35 points per category, which again, we'll basically do a little mini recap of that when we do that. Basically, we'll check in. We'll get to hear from both Jacob and Tiki how the trip went and what shenanigans went on.
All right.
Okay.
Yep, I'll be meeting you live in about 60 hours.
That's fucking
60 hours. And counting.
All right. Yeah, can't wait. See you guys later. I'm gonna go out and pregame. Woot woot.
Woo!
Countdown begin.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Oofy.
Chicken.
Not the little motorboats.
Chicken.